So in Matthew 5:33 through 37, Jesus was talking about oaths, and he was saying that you need to not um, break oaths, that you need to keep oaths, but that you're not supposed to swear by anything, not by heaven, not by earth, not by God's throne, not by Jerusalem, not even by the hair of your head. Don't swear an oath on anything. Just be a person of your word. And he finishes with simply let your yes be yes and your no be no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one. I want to talk to you about biblical boundaries. And the title of this video, as you probably saw, is No is a Sentence. Now, let me start off with making sure that you agree with my presumption that boundaries are biblical, because many Christians struggle with that. There's a huge influence in the church of biblical counseling, which pretty much kind of rejects anything that is psychological or terms from psychology. And boy, boundaries is one of those terms that comes from psychology and is kind of rejected. And it's really unfortunate because there are a lot of terms that are not in the Bible, a lot of names of things that we use in our daily life that are super helpful. Look at all the medical terms and the medical names for diseases and things and procedures that doctors know how to do. And the same thing with psychology. There is so much that is helpful to us because psychology is just simply the study of the mind. And we were made a mind, body, and spirit by God. So boundaries are biblical. They are supported by biblical principles. You can look at my other videos. I have other videos that explain these, but I'm just going to briefly tell you that those boundary principles are choice. God gives us choice. Consequences. God lets us suffer the consequences of our choices. We are accountable for those choices. And we are made stewards over our own lives, and boundaries help us to be good stewards of our time, our talent, and our treasure. And we are told to care for each other and care for ourselves. Boundaries help us figure out how to balance that care. So it's not all the other people or all yourself, but to know how to take care of yourself and take care of the people that you need to take care of. And then the last one is influence. We cannot control people, but we can influence by our boundaries. So boundaries are biblical. If you doubt that, please go to some of my other videos and listen a little more in depth to that, and that will help you be convinced of that. The second is, if we are talking about something, we need to make sure that we are on the same page. What is a boundary? Well, I define boundaries as what you will or will not do. It is not about telling somebody else what he or she can or cannot do, because you cannot control that. You cannot make that person do or not do what you want. You can ask, you can let them know what you prefer. You could even let them know what you can't handle, but you can't make them not do it. So a boundary is what you will or will not do, sometimes about what somebody else does or doesn't do. Oftentimes our boundaries are about things that have to do with a relationship, things that other people are doing or not doing that we need or that bothers us or that we can't handle or we can't live with or we don't like. So once you decide what your boundary is, if you've got a situation and somebody is asking you to do something, or they need something, or they are suggesting it, or they're inferring it, or you know that there's a need, because let's say the person lost their car or got in an accident or their car doesn't they don't have any money to pay for gas, or the person is needs babysitters or needs somebody to watch their kids while they go to work because their babysitter is on vacation or gone, or the kids are out of school and on vacation and they have to still go to work. I mean, you kind of, if let's say or somebody has just asked you for a particular thing, you have to make a decision. Are you willing or not willing to do what the person is asking of you? It's simple. Yes or no. Now, it doesn't feel simple. It doesn't feel simple because you are probably worried. Oh no, what if I say no? What is the person going to think of me? What is the person, they're going to be mad? Is the person going to be upset with me? Or are they going to accept it? Are they going to accept me saying no? Or are they going to retaliate? Are they going to stay resentful? Or are they going to blame me? Or are they going to get mad and yell at me? I mean, yeah, we have those fears. You've got to be tough enough to withstand that and maybe even have a boundary on that. I will not listen to you get mad at me or yell at me or threaten me because I told you no. I mean, that might be necessary, but let's just say you know that your answer is no. You don't want to do it, whatever this thing is. You don't want to. So somebody's going to ask you, or they're going to infer it, and you've got to give an answer. How do you do that? Well, that's where the title comes in. No is a sentence. You do not have to add anything after the word no. Now, is that easy? No. I watched a video on YouTube years ago where somebody had 4 people sitting around, and one of the coworkers asked the other 3, hey, do you want to come to my house for a party this weekend? And the first 3 coworkers fumbled around and they came up with lame excuses. I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be helping my parents. Come up with, you could tell it was. And then the 4th person just said no. And everybody turned around and stared at that person and said, what? You can't just say no. You have to have a reason. You have to have an explanation. And it was hilarious because it's really true. We all are uncomfortable just saying no. We think we have to explain. We think we have to justify. We think we have to give an excuse, but we don't. We don't have to do any of that. If you do not want to do something, you do not owe the person an explanation. You do not have to come up with a lie or a lame excuse like the people did in that video to get out of it. You can just simply say, no, it was a question. Do you want to come to a party at my house this weekend? No. Do you want to drive me, or can you watch my children this week while I'm at work? No. Can you stop by on the way home from the store? No. That's it. But it takes practice. I know a few people in my life that have been really good at that, and I'm intrigued by them. Every time that happens and they just say no, I just stop and I look at them and I smile and I say, that's awesome. They can just say no. Why? They're confident, they're comfortable, and they're not afraid of people pleasing. They don't need to people please. They don't care about the person's reaction. They know their rights. They're right to say no. So the next time somebody asks you if you want to do something and you don't, just say no and zip your lip and practice getting comfortable with saying no and not explaining. So thank you for watching this video on Change My Relationship. I hope you will take some time to watch some other ones, subscribe to my website with my emails, and that way you'll get notice of my classes. And please check out my books and also the studies that I have. So, okay, thank you.